New documents indicate the Liberals' payment for confiscation firearms seizure program is going to be an absolute wasteful failure.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberals continue to deny that they're going after Canadian hunters with their latest gun ban, but the ban list is out, and hunters across the country have seen many of their commonly used firearms on that list. Hunters from Quebec, from Ontario, the prairies, the north, our Indigenous hunters are all speaking out. Even legendary Montreal Canadian goalie Carey Price is speaking out, Mr. Speaker. And the CBC, in fact, just today said the list, quote, includes a number of long guns in wide use by Canadian farmers. So why won't the Liberals just admit that this was never about public safety and it was their target all along to go after law-abiding hunters, sports shooters, and farmers, Mr. Speaker? This was their plan all along.
So that's why these people need to keep their hands off our guns. To sign the petition, go to handsofourguns.ca. A recently released Public Safety Canada report called Buyback Program Awareness Campaign polled about 2,000 Canadian gun owners on their views of the Liberals' proposed buyback program of newly prohibited models of shotguns, rifles, and handguns. Now, for context, in May 2020, the Trudeau government banned approximately 200,000 firearms it considered assault style, including thousands of models of shotguns and rifles.
Over the last 7 years, crime and violence has skyrocketed under the Liberal NDP government, all while the Liberals increased gun control on licensed gun owners. And while they were at it, made life the easiest it's ever been on criminals. The Liberals have rolled out 3 gun bans in 3 years, while gang-related homicide has shot up 92%, basically doubled, along with a 32% rise in violent crime, all since the Liberals took office. Those same gun-owning Canadians need to ask what in the world is going on.
Initially, it was 1,500 models of shotguns and rifles. And then other models were added, and the rough estimate is approximately 200,000 firearms. But how could the Liberals ever know? Because, well, many of these firearms are moving from unregistered to prohibited.
Each passing year, more families are ripped apart by tragedy. More parents are struggling to explain the inexplicable to their kids. And more teenagers are growing up in a world where gun violence is normalized. It needs to stop. Today, we are closing the market for military-grade assault weapons in Canada. We are banning 1,500 models and variants of these firearms by way of regulations. These weapons were designed for one purpose and one purpose only: to kill the largest number of people in the shortest amount of time.
The Liberals have also proceeded with a subsequent complete ban on all handgun ownership.
Of how significant the surge was. The Ontario Chief Firearms Officer told iPolitics that between June 1st and June 30th, there was a 914% increase, 914% increase in handgun transfers over the same period in 2021. So you are making another move now. I want to ask you, it's 2 weeks before this comes into effect. Do you anticipate that there will be perhaps a smaller, but another surge now in sales?
Well, I concede that there might be, but that's why I'm grateful to Minister Jolie for actually shrinking the amount of time when this would come into force. Typically, in exercising her authorities under the Import-Export Controls Act, you would require 30 days. We've taken it down to 14 days so that we can, again, move forward more quickly, expeditiously, to bring the effect of the national handgun freeze into full force as much as we possibly can.
The feds offered a buyback of the property never owned by the government with an estimated cost of approximately $400 million. And the amnesty period for gun owners to turn over their firearms to the feds expires in just a couple of months on October 30th, 2023. However, the Parliamentary Budget Office pegs the cost of the confiscation remuneration at nearly $800 million, more than double what the Liberals said. Now, according to the report I mentioned earlier, the report called Buyback Program Awareness Campaign, first analyzed by Blacklock's in an article published Thursday morning, we know that even the government knows that firearms owners think this isn't going to work at all. Look at this. From the report. Often the ban and the buyback program were seen as wasteful because the policy isn't aimed at stopping illegal gun smuggling and sales. Most firearms owners did not see themselves or their peers as a major factor in gun crimes in Canada. We don't see ourselves that way because we aren't that way. Most firearms owners think inner cities have the highest rate of firearms violence in Canada. Just 10% think small towns and rural areas have the highest rates. Firearms owners feel the biggest causes of gun violence are gang violence, organized crime, and general criminal activity. They think that because it's true. Let's keep going. There has been a significant decline over the past year in firearms owners' rating of the government's performance on introducing measures to address gun-related violence. When the gun owners polled by the government were asked, how would you rate the performance of the government of Canada when it comes to introducing measures to address gun-related violence? 26% of those polled called it poor. Another 24% of respondents rated it fair. 15% of gun owners said the Fed's response to rising crime rates was excellent, which is bizarre. I'll attach the report in the written portion of this video, but if you're interested in signing the petition calling on the Liberals to back off the law-abiding and do something about illegal guns here in Canada, please go to handsofourguns.com. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. The Liberals are making it nearly impossible to be a law-abiding gun owner in this country while simultaneously making it a lot easier to be a criminal by lowering the mandatory minimum sentences in this country. To sign the petition calling on the government to focus their limited resources on the real criminals, please go to handsofourguns.ca.